that it was just last month that I had written one article for, Communication Today. And the reason I had done it was because feel that there's a serious challenge to the environment, to Mother Earth, from the telecom and IT industry itself. And it's increasing by the day. And of course, just to take you back by a few decades, we all know how the telecom was in those days. You know, if you had to make an international call, it used to be a big thing in the sense that a lot of money was spent, maybe a few hundred rupees, when the incomes were also low. And you always used to pay for what you use. But in the last one decade now, everything has changed. Now, everything is practically free. You make as many calls as possible. You be on the line all the time. So it doesn't matter. You're busy with your phone. You keep forwarding messages. We feel that it's just an innocent thing. Every day, people post good morning messages. So we feel that it's all, free. So we do it liberally. But every action, and since there are 1 billion phones in the country, imagine each one of us, if we forward one message, it has implications on power in terms of megawatts. Megawatts. We feel that it's nothing. As I keep saying, that there are many people who tell me, oh, we should not take printouts. Yes, why? Because it's having a direct impact on the environment. We are cutting trees. But by virtue of this increasing demand for power, what are we doing? We are actually indirectly finishing the trees also, because a lot of energy is needed for this whole operation. And simply because the tariffs have been made in such a way that, it makes everybody use his phone liberally, whether in the towns or the villages. Yes, it has done a lot of good to the country I would say the world in a big way. It has given a big boost to the economy in the country. Of course, it has led to democratization of content. There were many things for example, history, which were under the domain of the government, and lies being peddled all the time. That has changed because people have come with new evidence. So that has changed with the social media. Of course, also, it has led to personality development in many cases because people are now able to absorb content, modify themselves, and so many people coming on the YouTube. I mean, it's really led to real democratization of content. Education, I mean, it's become quite inclusive now. Sitting in a village, you can get educated properly. Health, there are a lot of care which can be taken through this IT in terms of telemedicine. And of course, we have seen that during COVID, when there was a challenge and people could not step out of the homes, it was this network, it was this telecom IT network, which ensured that the offices would still run from home. So work from home became a culture. But what the challenge is the irrational use, or I would say misuse of the whole thing. We use AI platforms nowadays for the past 3, 4 years. People feel using the AI platforms, it's a craze, and what that has resulted in a lot of misinformation because these platforms are also not sort of neutral. They are biased. That's inbuilt into them, and social media content leading to problems. All these are understood, but from the sustainability perspective, we have seen that lot of energy is consumed, and there is a US Energy Information Administration, which says that Electric Power Research Institute has reported that each query made to AI models consumes about 290 watt hours of power. That's not a small power. I mean, you can imagine it means like burning a 60-watt lamp for almost 5 hours with one query on the AI platform. So this particular thing results in it's a vicious cycle. We need more power generation, and every uh, kilowatt or megawatt of power we generate has definitely an impact on the environment. It has impact on Mother Earth, and so we need to become conscious of these facts. There are people who may not sort of care about it, but we as educated people who have been at the forefront of uh, not only technology or also administration and other domains, we need to generate awareness among people at the society level, at the individual level, at the service provider level, and the regulator. The regulator doesn't seem to care about it. But if we generate pressure and tell the regulator it's not a good idea to keep everything free, people need to pay for it, and then things would be better. I know there are many people, when I published this article, there were many people who came forward from the industry who are my friends. Hey, what are you writing? Because हमारे पेट पे लात मार रहे हो. पेट पे लात मारने वाली बात नहीं है. I have been a part of the same system, but we need to become aware that there are challenges and we cannot shut our eyes to this. So on this Earth Day, this is a very important thing that we need to ponder on. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Waklu Saab, former chairman, TCIL, enlightening us with opening remarks today on this World Earth Day, where the United Nations theme says, our power, our Earth. Now I hand it over to Mr. Professor A.G. Iyer. He is a behemoth, he's in the field of power and MNRE. He is also the advisor to the government of Bhutan, currently in Bhutan, advising the Prime Minister there. He recently shared some initiatives that he has been able to dole out with the most carbon-free, completely carbon-free country in the world. Professor Iyer, over to you. We also have been joined by Professor Mr. A.K. Sinha, former Secretary Labour Government of India. Thank you, Professor Iyer. Over to you.
Namaskar to all in India. Right now, I'm right here in Thimphu, the heart of the capital city of Bhutan. And I wish to tell you that around 3 o'clock, as Amit Goenka ji knows, we are celebrating the Earth Day here because this is the only carbon negative economy of the world. As we talked about carbon neutrality, but this is beyond that. Bhutan is the only economy of the world with 70% still of its land under forest cover. And the other point is yet, Bhutan is a very massive influence for India right now because more than 2 gigawatt of electricity flows through the Indo-Bhutan grid, which happens to be the foundation for the South Asian regional grid, which I talked about in 1998 in an Indian Express article where in my column called Energy Talk. So the beauty of Bhutan is not only does it, stick to the carbon negativity, and even though the developments now, there is a very big model called the Gelefu Mindfulness City, the vision of the fourth and the fifth king now, which is going to be 10 times the size of Singapore. And it's a hybridized model of, development where it's like a country within a country kind of a model, a vision where it will be completely focused again on renewable energy. What Bhutan effectively is trying to do is trying to match its development model with sustaining what it has already done ahead of most other nations. And the beauty, as I told you, grid has not a single ounce of carbon power here from the Bhutan end. Of course, since Bhutan is able to use this electricity for itself roughly for 7 to 8 months, they do need some power from India across the grid in the inter-exchange. And that happens to be thermal power at times, because when the lean hydropower happens, because climate change also impacts the glacier melts that happen. Because Bhutan doesn't get all this electricity, or it produces from, I would say, typical rains. Rains would be like us only, or even less than us, because about 1 month we can say maximum they get of rains. But the rest of the months they are basically getting from the glacial melts. When the glacier starts melting, flowing, massive capacities come across. And this is flowing. Water is already having energy, so it's a clean exploitation of hydroelectricity in Bhutan. The next thing that's happening between India and Bhutan, I wish to tell you, I want to repeat, last year, we released the pump storage projects. I would say India released this later, but at Energia Foundation and Renewable Energy Promotion Association, we actually released a white paper called 100 gigawatt by 2032. And that model has been adopted by the Central Electricity Authority. And the beauty is, Goenka Saab just said that about Andhra Pradesh. That is the state I was mentoring since the year 2020-21. And the officer that I mentored was Dr. Ramana Reddy, thanks to the current Chief Secretary of Andhra Pradesh, Vijayanand Saab, who was also the Special Secretary Energy. And because of the vision of these officers, what happened is 24 gigawatt of pump storage is historical development. Orders have been placed as under execution in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And one of these big schemes is Pinapuram. I have visited in February 2024, which actually is a record scheme with a technology coming from Andritz, and 1.68 gigawatt of pump storage will be produced. And this is not the conventional power purchase agreement model. It is the model of discovered price of electricity. And this is what I want to tell on the show. If we want to really power the entire planet with more renewables, then we cannot use this current model of, you're having a global tender, you waste your time. And then after that, several months are wasted, then some challenges come. You don't end up building the way we are doing in India. So we need to adopt other models of tender. Tender means you're tendering a price. You're tendering a kind of a capital incentive where we say at an affordable cost, you will deliver the goods. That's what tender is all about. The purpose of the tender is that. So what we should do, news is here. India's grid is beautiful. We have one of the lowest average cost of electricity cost. I'm not talking of what the discoms are doing. They need reforms, and if they don't reform, the first case for public-private participation are the Indian distribution sector, because they are a monopoly. Unlike the telecom, where I have a choice to take any operator, there is no choice. They are fixed monopolies, and these people must be woken up, because the first license, Goenka Saab also comes from Calcutta. The first license in India was a private sector, Calcutta Electric Supply Company. And the second license was Tata Power. So we started with the private sector long ago. So then why we made these discoms currently? So the inefficiencies of discoms ends up in such a way that where I am staying in Thane district in Maharashtra, which is my home state, I pay 14 rupees a unit for my electricity in the domestic. And the average price of electricity in the country for domestic is about 7 rupees. So this kind of models cannot survive for long. So while on the earth today,
would you like to throw some, Tosaraya, would you like to also talk about a little bit about the current contracts which are being, doled out to private companies like Tata Power Pri NTPC, which was almost at the rate of 22 rupees, 22 crores per megawatt just a few days back?
Yeah. See, it's very sad that NTPC is my favorite company. Let me first say that. It's a brilliant company led by a very good leader over there, but I don't know how it is all happening. It's very surprising that about a week back, and I shared with Goenka Saab, and that is that we have a power plant, and in the garb of bringing renewable energy, and what we have done is we are saying we'll bring a 200 megawatt power plant, and 200 megawatt is no size. Let me tell you, today we are talking gigawatt scale. So 200 megawatt is a small power plant integrated with wind, solar, and they are saying battery energy storage system. I don't consider battery energy storage as clean, because we have to mine so much material, so much of battery has to be mined. It's completely highly energy intensive process, and it is not a carbon, it's not at all a favorable process. There's a lot of carbon negativity. All of this, they say they come to 22.5 crores per megawatt. So this is like an award given directly. I don't think it's a proper tender or anything. It's like a experimental model, like a pilot. And 200 megawatt is size-wise, it is very big for a decentralized
Similar thing happened with BHEL also. wherein
Yes,
20 CR per
yeah,
megawatt project has been awarded to BAIL, which is anyways a company which has got almost 1,80,000 crores of orders pending, out of which
yes, yes,
80% of that is in the power sector. Is in the
yes.
power sector. And we're talking about electricity for all. We're talking about reducing the cost of electricity and power. I mean, yesterday Bengal itself had the JSW plant launched by Honorable CM Mamata Banerjee, by the JSW chairman Sajan Jindal, 16,000 megawatt, 1600 megawatt plant at the rate of 16,000 crores, that is 10 rupee, 10 crores per megawatt. So much of discrepancy and anomaly around various projects. We are laymen, we don't understand. We'll talk about these things as we move along. Let me quickly also welcome Honorable Former Minister Kulasta Saab. Kulasta Saab, थोड़ा video on कर लीजिए. Minister of Steel and Rural Development. He is traveling from Tirupati to Hyderabad, then to Calcutta, and then to Delhi. If he is there online, sir, अपना वीडियो ऑन कर लीजिए और आपको सुनना चाहेंगे, नहीं तो आपकी you will be catching a flight. Anyways, Ram Chaudhary ji, he is a
Yes,
Padma
sir.
Shri, a man who knows his subject more than anyone else. Chaudhary Saab, your take on the world earth day.
नमस्कार, आवाज मेरी आ रही है आपको?
सर बहुत अच्छे से आ रही है. नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत
Oh,
धन्यवाद आने के लिए.
नमस्कार जी, मैं एग्रीकल्चरिस्ट हूँ, so I will be talking of agriculture and energy and that's energy. We are all selling Mother Earth. Mother Earth, when Mother Earth was born after Big Bang or whatever theory you accept it, it came with lot of energy. Energy was in the first form in different materials that are contained inside the earth, the soil itself. Like now we are taking energy out of uranium, thorium, and all those things. But the biggest source of energy was the plant. When plant originated, whether in the form of forest or in the form of agriculture now, we are trying to harvest solar energy through various means. But let me tell you, and I feel proud of it, that the biggest solar energy harvesting enterprise is agriculture. All the crops, they get solar energy, they convert into carbohydrate and different things that we eat and we survive on that. So naturally, it's again harvesting of this solar energy. The other thing people are talking that we are cutting trees, using them in different forms, whether burning directly or indirectly, or the petroleum products. They are also out of the forest only. Petroleum did not come from anywhere else, but again from the forest. So in fact, the trees, they are the biggest source of energy here on this planet Earth, or Mother Earth, you call it. Now, how to use it sustainably, that is the question, and we are asking for it. And now our government of India, also government of UP, they are emphasizing more and more on solar energy. They say that, okay, there are different schemes for supporting people, that if you set up on your rooftop solar panel and convert into electricity, you save electricity from the government, and also you can sell electricity. So it's from nowhere. It's not a carbon dependent technology that we are using, solar. But again, we have to keep in mind that the biggest solar energy harvesting enterprise is agriculture itself, in different forms that we are doing it. So when we call Mother Earth came in, plants came in, plants evolved, and only in the end, when everything was available, God Lord created human being, and we are here. We started exploiting the green plants, and again we started clearing forests to develop agriculture. So whatever is, in fact, all dependent on solar energy, but somehow this is being misused. I was in a meeting while still working with the United Nations meeting in Kenya, and the UNDP was launching its annual book, and the blame was on China and India, that they are maximum polluter. They are polluter of the planet Earth. I raised my hand when chairman asked for the comments, I said, I think this our calculation is wrong. We are not living in a chimney. The air today in US, after a week, it will reach to India and vice versa. So naturally, don't calculate on per country basis that who is producing how much methane or how much pollution. Calculate on per day basis. We are all the creation of God, and we have equal right to use or exploit this planet Earth in any form. So please, and from that year, believe me, that column was removed. That who is the biggest polluter? Because when you calculate it on per country basis, then China and India they really crop up. They crop up due to their population. But many countries in Europe and even in USA, they are bigger polluter than us. But the other thing that is happening, what is the concept of a carbon footprint or carbon dating? A few years back only, some German companies, they planted some forests in Tamil Nadu. And they said, well, this much carbon we are absorbing, and we have right to put up another factory in Germany because we have created something. So sometimes these international law, they are misused.
Chaudhary, I'll have to just interrupt you for just 2-3 minutes because Professor Iyer has to leave because his program is going to start with the Prime Minister of Bhutan. 3 minutes, I'll have to give it to Professor Iyer. Professor Iyer, because we don't want to miss out on his very, very relevant, pointers today. 10 points, 5 to 10 points for the government of India in terms of improving the power capacity and utilization in this nation. Professor Iyer.
See, I'm very clear on one issue, and since you said 10 points, let me come up like this. The first one is, we cannot do this business of just having 460 gigawatt and running very slow. We are patting our back of 25 gigawatt per annum. This should have been done 10 years back. We are now at the level where 50 to 100 gigawatt we have to add every year because our neighbor China is 3.4 terawatt when we are talking on this show. So we are not running the race, number 1 point. So our capacity index cannot be so slow. We are getting only 1395 kilowatt hour of exposure per capita. So this cannot remain like this. Europe and China are having 5,000 to 6,000 units per capita access to electricity. And this should be done in affordable manner. The third point I am giving is affordable, clean and green access to clean and green energy. Today it's not affordability. As I told you some time back, 14 rupees, 15 rupees a unit.
Green, blue, violet, purple, which one is better for India?
Sir, we should forget color. We should be agnostic. We should produce hydrogen if we want from any source. We should be agnostic and we should trap the carbon. Very clear answer from me.
We have the storage capacity also for the green. We don't have the production capacities, the cost effectiveness. How do you justify that?
Sir, I tell you, we are the lowest cost producer. That is the news I'm telling you. BPCL is producing hydrogen already, the blue hydrogen, which we call, which is carbon, at $2.2 per kg. This is the news I'm giving you. So $2.2 per kg is less than $3. India can produce hydrogen at less than $3. So let us go for it. So let us not talk of this blue, green, violet.
You're telling me BPCL has taken the first mover advantage in terms of producing blue hydrogen at such a cost-effective rate? Kudos to BPCL.
But what we'll do, we'll end up telling our, we have no public-private model. What we will say, we'll make all of them compete, go to some kind of reverse bidding and finish this model because then we'll go to $10. Then we are done. So this green hydrogen business, I would request the Honorable Prime Minister not to entertain too much of green because blue is also green. Once you trap the carbon, it is green hydrogen. So this is one very important point that I want to tell you. Another thing is, when they are talking nuclear, it is very dangerous, the current nuclear system that we are talking about. We want to build 250 megawatt instead of 250 megawatt machines. We want to build the reactor and this at 1000 megawatt and all. But what it does, it ends up making you again a victim of the uranium circuit because you will import more uranium, 3 times more than what you are importing. This is useless. We need to go back to what Homi Jahangir Baba said, and we need to work on thorium reactors. So the smart modular reactor, add a T to that, which has been my principle for the last 20 years. Smart modular thorium reactors are the way forwards. And India has world's 33% of the commercial exploitable thorium, and actually 60% by non-commercial mode. So we are leading. First time we will control energy fuel. If you control fuel, you are the king. Right now, we don't control anything. I will give you, Goenka, a few models. We are importing forgings. All shafts made by BHL. BHL can never deliver because forging shafts they have to import. There is not a single company in India which can deliver large forgings on which the rotating equipment are loaded in the boiler turbine generator or hydro turbines, anything you want. You need to make the shafting. We don't make. We are importers, net. I will give you another one. Transformers. CRGO, cold rolled grain oriented steel. We are net importers of cold rolled grain oriented steel. We are net importers of fuel today, whether it's a gas, whether it's anything. We are importers of LNG, we are importers of crude. So we need to get out of this cycle. So nuclear, if you want to play a game, government saying they'll do 100 gigawatt, I'm ready. Manmohan Singh Saab said 75 gigawatt. So definitely you're talking 25 gigawatt more without achieving anything. Last 10 years, we have only brought 7 gigawatt of nuclear on the grid. So please don't keep only Nuclear Power Corporation as the only company to deliver it. Let us make the public and private come together for small modular thorium reactors. Open the market. And I told you some time back, we need to give discovered cost. Grid energy cost in India is lowest, 4 rupees per unit average daytime baseload cost. And peak energy costs are in the region of 6 to 7 rupees discovered in the energy exchanges. Why the government is not following the model of I would say not allowing only one party to take all the projects. Keep this thing. No single party can get more than 2 gigawatt or 3 gigawatt. Then you get 10 to 15 parties to execute in the country and deliver it on discovered price model. It's also tender. So please don't do Banderbant. Allow more number of private sector companies to roll out so that you can get regional and national players coming together to deliver like China is doing. If not 3.4 gigawatt in the next few years, we should go to 5 gigawatt of 50% of that capacity. We can't do all these things without having a strategy. Another thing is we are going to get a major transmission bottleneck. While we are delivering all this electricity, we don't have right-of-way corridors in the country. Between the states, there is no capacity to take more than 20, 30 gigawatt at a time. For example, Khavda, big capacity we are planning with the leaders, all the leading companies, Adani and several other companies have gone there. Even Rajasthan, they have gone. So one place we will have to export all energy to the rest of India. What happens to the transmission corridor? So suddenly we want to run to the transmission corridor, but it will not happen unless you do parallel planning. So these plannings have to be done together, and investment in transmission is as important as you are investing in the generation. So it's a composite effort that the country has to do. Then one more point I wish to tell you, that it's important to not allow this, so many crores per megawatt. See, average thermal costs are not going to be more than 5 to 6 crores. Outer limits 8 crores per megawatt. Anything that is beyond that is killer at this juncture. Similarly, hydropower is being delivered in Bhutan. We are delivering to 6 to 7 crore per megawatt. It may go to 8 crore. In India, it may be about maximum 8 to 10 crore range. So you cannot suddenly increase it to 18 to 20 crore per megawatt. So thermal power, ultra mega, you cannot increase to 20 crores. So suddenly, I don't know from where these figures of 20, 25 crores are coming. We have done this to our road projects. Our road projects are unviable because the average cost of NHI is for a 6-lane highway in concrete is about 26 crores, 25 to 26 crore per kilometer, and we are delivering at 75 to 250 crores. How will this infrastructure even get funding? A funding company which comes and wants to fund in India FDI, they will see a lot of buffering in this. They will say, how would you explain this? So much difference in cost. There's no financial modeling here. So I would say the country has to be very practical in doing all these things, and we need hybrid energy. We should not go to one end saying we'll do this and do that. We need hybrid energy. Hybrid integrated renewable energy development model is the only way forward. And when you cannot take your coal out, I would say, please, for God's sake, don't leave coal away. Coal mein se aap CBM nikaliye. Coal bed methane. Convert to as much of hydrogen as you want. This is what you have to do. Similarly, I have released a plan, the white paper we did in 2021 because of Tarun Kapoor, who is now advisor to the Prime Minister. He told me, Ayar Saab, you helped us in solar. 100 gigawatt solar by 2022 was released by us in 2013. We did not achieve in 2022, but now we just crossed it. But while we crossed it, China did 900 gigawatt. And our manufacturers, we have created a monopoly. We have a BCD, basic custom duty of import of 40%. High custom duty tariff barriers don't enable manufacturing efficiency. We have made a very inefficient manufacturing efficiency system in India. Our fellows are not delivering. Even the priority lending scheme is now being drawn back by the government to 23 billion. So we have not got enough manufacturing.
What about the routing? And what about the routing, cyclic routing of the Chinese products to US?
See, I tell you what happens. This will keep happening. See, we cannot be hypocrites. All your mobile phones, majority of the exports happening from India are being manufactured in the Noida and the premises in NCR. And 60% of the export happen from there. So why we have got this angle that if you want Chinese, then tell them to invest in India. If they manufacture in India, then well, Chinese, Japanese, or anything, we should not be bothered about this. I would say you should be more bothered about them dumping the goods to India. Importing always is a very dangerous thing. So we need to find a component import, whether we like it or not. 80% of the solar industry will need component import. Even the manufacturing factories by our fellows are done with Chinese fellows only. Because you import from Europe, you will have to make a factory at very high cost. And this today in the Prime Minister's Surya Ghar Yojana is being affected. We are getting, monopoly DCR, domestic content requirement panel, at 27 to 29 rupees per watt. It cannot be done. When the imported panels without even any subsidy can be done at 15 rupees. So there is a lot of skew. The policymaker, I am telling you, please call up people like us. Let us be practical. Don't go to any one lobby. There is a developer lobby. There is the manufacturer lobby. ये दोनों की बात एक साथ मत सुनिए. आप neutral parties की बात करिए. Let us deliver affordable cost of power. SDG, Sustainable Development Goal number 7 in the UN 17 goals is affordable, clean and green renewable energy. Let us go to that word first, affordable. Without that, government what it's trying to deliver right now will end up going to 40 rupees, 30 rupees a unit. And this Indians will not be able to purchase. Today also my villagers cannot afford 2 rupees, 3 rupees electricity. What are we doing? 50% of the country we want.
Just a few closing remarks in terms of the hydro, especially with the new huge project coming up in Arunachal, Subanshree, by the NHPC. And why can't we have more such projects across the country? Because hydro is heavily underutilized in this country. So any suggestions from that perspective?
See, two things we must know. A lot of the Indus water part we have to exploit. We have to somehow handle this. And we won one of the cases in the, International Court of Justice. So we must try to work out the Indus water capability, the Brahmaputra capability, and Arunachal is a gold mine. I have been telling for the last 20 years, because also my guru, late Yogendra Prasad, today is his day when you are talking to me. Today is the day we lost Yogendra Prasad ji. He was the hydro guru. He was the M. Vishwesvaraya of modern India. We have forgotten this man. I'm celebrating in Bhutan because the first power came from here. Let me tell you, hydro is our only savior. We need peak shaving in the grid. No other electricity can give you peak shaving. Sari base load karti hain. Without peak shavers, you can't operate ramping up on the grid. This is a technical point. Harmonics also come into picture. I'm not discussing technical here. But why I'm telling you, hydro and pump storage are the way forward. Don't go to battery energy storage in big way. I have advised CA on this. CA has agreed to my point. They've reduced because the battery lobby, battery has no proof of delivery. Hydrogen, the pump storage is proven. They should give orders to even BHL. They have not given any orders to BHL. They should make BHL compete with others. Andritz, BHL, any party. Kirloskar, our own party. Very beautiful technology on pump storage. They are making presentation here in Bhutan today. I am telling you, Kirloskar Brothers is India's party. Why we are not talking to Kirloskar Brothers and giving orders to such companies to deliver pump storage and hydro in India? Small hydro is part of hydro. So my solution to the government is, please don't take lightly. Subanshree has been hanging fire. I'm very happy it is coming. It's my NHPC people, my dear friends, the Prasad's company, which is actually delivering it. I'm very happy. It's a big project, but we need to do 20 times more than what Subanshree is happening. We have bigger projects, and if we cannot do together 4 or 5,000 or 20,000 like China, break them into the river, but don't make very small projects on the river. They have an environmental disaster. You make, suppose in Mandakini River and Uttarakhand and all, we have made very small Mickey Mouse projects. Their diversion, too much of diversion on run of the river is not good. We must concentrate on hybridization, storage with diversion, little diversion, some run of the river, some storage, and basically pump storage is the answer to the country, I am telling you. 200 gigawatt is the target I have fixed for CA by 2032 of pump storage and hydro together. So you know where we are going. So we need to have a lot of hydro. We need to do nuclear. We must be agnostic. We must not do away with inability to use our coal. 350 billion tons of coal needs to go to CBM or coal gasification and hydrogen. So we must be as as agnostic to energy as possible if we want to feed our people competitive electricity, competitive energy from all sources. We must also go to heat. We're not discussing heat. Nobody discusses country. Power is not the only thing. Power and energy part is also heat. A lot of heat requirement is there. So I would say CSPs, where decentralized CSPs is possible. One of my friend Deepak Gadia is building a beautiful standalone project in near Gujarat, near Baroda, and this is 1,000 acres which will not have any grid. And this man has been struggling throughout his life. Government must support such people and come forward and see that these models are unleashed rather than just going to a few corporates and a few fellows and telling them that you are the only ones. We need them also. We need the
Exactly.
Adanis, we need the Reliance, we need the Tatas, we need
Okay,
everybody.
thank you. Thank
We
you,
should
Ayar
not
sir.
forget.
So many speakers. Thank you so much for amazing inputs.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, this is going to be a kind of an eye-opener for people like Tarun Kapoorji, who head the energy department and also as the advisor to the Prime Minister. I have also invited him. In which ways, we've been joined by Kulasta sir, former Minister of Steel and Rural Development. But before that, we've got Mr. A.K. Sinha also, who's joined IAS, former Labour Secretary, Government of India. He was also handling as Joint Secretary of the Public Enterprises. We have with us Dhatwalia Saab. Before I bring Dhatwalia Saab on board, he was the principal DG of PIB, the man who knows what the minister is thinking. Let me also bring in A.K. Sinha Saab. Arun Sinha ji, we've been joined by Prasid Kumar, an expert in the solar energy space. Dr. Harry, could you also introduce yourself before we go to the next speaker?
Yeah, of course. Good morning, everybody. Very happy to be part of this forum discussing World Earth Day, our power, our planet. Should I proceed with my
Introduce yourself
talk or should I
now.
wait?
Just introduce yourself. Just
Yeah,
introduce yourself. I'll bring you as a speaker after this.
yeah. Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Harry, and I head the sustainability programs of tower infrastructure company called Ascent Telecom Infrastructure. We have about 30,000 towers across country and one of the second largest consumers of power and energy across country.
Wonderful,
Very
wonderful,
happy
sir.
to be
Pleasure.
part
We'd like to listen. We'd like to listen to you from the private sector perspective. Subhaya Saab, could you introduce yourself here because you wanted to go to the laptop? Is IS 83 batch a batchmate of A.K. Sinha Saab? Subhaya Saab, can you hear us? Okay, Pratik Shanware, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, all. I am Pratik Shanware. I am working for Bharat Petroleum. I am in director office, and Mr. Khanna asked me to be here in this forum.
Please convey our thanks to Krishna Kumarji, the current chairman. We are
Yeah.
all hopeful that his tenure gets extended, unlike most of the other CMDs whose tenures in the petroleum space has been burning without or with petroleum. In which ways? Let me bring quickly A.K. Sinha Saab. Sinha Saab, over to you. A.K. Sinha, former IS 83 batch. Your views on the subject of Earth, more power, our Earth, our power, our Earth.
And, thank you, Amit Goenka ji. I hope I'm audible.
Sir, yes, very much so.
It's very good that on today, on 22nd April, the World Earth Day, you have organized and you have brought together so many luminaries. And I was listening to Professor A. Gopal Krishnan Iyer and other distinguished person who are here to share their views about World Earth Day. And so I've got a very brief thing to say. I also welcome Mr. Subhaya. I think there is some technical glitch. He will join back. He was my batchmate from Kerala cadre. He is a veterinarian and a person grounded in villages. Yeah, and still after retirement, he is contributing a lot for development of people around, and he is living in some villages also. And also, I had the opportunity here to listen to Dr. Ram C. Chaudhary, who is a Padam Shri awardee, and he is famous for Kala Namak because he belongs to Uttar Pradesh. He comes from Basti district, and Kala Namak is a variety of paddy which is very rare. It is said that this was given by Lord Buddha, which had no problem. Anybody, whether he has got diabetic or any health condition, this Kala Namak rice will do no harm. Just with this background, I've come back to today's topic. On World Earth Day, they have got this four things which attracted me: educate, advocate, mobilize, and place. I think these are very important terminology which we all should discuss today and try to contribute our bit in that. So, and as we all know, today is the 55th anniversary of our World Earth Day, which started from 1969. And this year, the theme is what this particular talk has: our power, our planet. So, and basically, as we all know, we were hearing to Professor Gopal Krishna here also that the main target is, of course, tripling of global renewable energy gap by 2030. That is tripling it. And India has taken the target of 50% energy requirement to be met by renewable energy sources by 2030. And what I feel is mainly because I had been the labor ministry also, that workers, they play a very important role in that educate, advocate, mobilize, and place. Because when all of us get together with the same target, then perhaps the progress is good. So it's very good that you have organized today's interaction. And what I will add only that it is our power, it is our planet, and we should work for it. Thank you very much.
Ms. Sinha Saab, I'll bring you again because we would like to listen to you from the various public sector companies who work in the power space, not in the best of news of late, but definitely we would like to hear from you more. Dhatwalia Saab, former DG, PIB, over to you, sir.
Good morning to everyone. I had been listening to the previous speakers, and let me say that the celebration of this particular day for environment, energy, and the lifestyle of our people on the earth. So, what I have to say is that people know. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are audible. Please go on. I think Mr. Ghatewala has exited by mistake.
Prasid Kumarji, an expert in the field of solar energy, let me quickly request you to kindly share your views on the power aspects with respect to the Earth's conservation and growth.
Very good morning, and thanks a lot for inviting me to this forum today. And today being the Earth Day, first let me introduce myself. I belong from the solar energy sector, and we have been doing government projects as well as residential and commercial projects in the field of decentralized solar power plant. Right. So having this experience and we being at the intersection of both sustainability and technology, I see this power every action, in everyday action, right? You see the phrase, our power is beautifully layered, and it not only displays the power, the electricity that we're talking about, and also the power which is in human beings and the people around us, right? Having said that, I would like to talk on what Mr. Iyer said earlier, talking about the day-to-day activities of what is happening in the industry, right? We have PM Suryaghar Yojana, we have Kusum Yojana, we have different type of Yojana governed by the government and given to us in the form of subsidies. Uh, we have DCR modules that is there, right? And if you need to implement solar energy, we in residential household, we have to procure DCR modules only, which is compulsory, which comes at a cost of 14,000 rupees or around 12,000 to 14,000 rupees extra per kilowatt, which I think is need to be figured out by the way of this forum. I would like to mention that, right? And undoubtedly, like, we are young people and all IAS officers are there, which I think can take this point further.
Prasid ji will again bring you back, but let me quickly bring in back Dhatolia Saab. Dhatolia Saab has joined us back. He had some problem. Former Principal Director General of the PIB, the mouthpiece of the government. Dhatolia Saab, are you there with us again?
Yeah, I'm there. Now there was some connectivity issue. Am I audible now?
You are audible. अपना video on कर लीजिए.
Just a minute.
Dhatolia Saab, what does the government have to say about power?
Let me just say that, you see, government alone can't say or solve any problem of power. It is for all of us. And I'll start on a different note. Let me say, as an individual, what I am doing for power saving and using power. It starts from the individual, it starts from the family, and the village, or from the surroundings and the environment. We are all using more and more power, but power generation as well as power saving, these are the important things which we have to follow. Very large number of the people feel that because the public places usage of power does not affect them, so we ignore, we overlook, and there is a lot of wastage of power at different places. It starts from small residential colonies to the large number of the public places. Now, I'll give you small examples. In the villages, what happens is that the street lights, wherever these are being provided now, nobody is concerned. You see, when to switch off the lights. And to give you the examples of the NCR, here I am staying at the moment in Noida. You see, the man who is responsible to provide us power or manage electricity, he will put a timer that at a particular point of time, I will switch off or the light will get switched off. Now, the periodical review, whether it should be switched off at 6:30 in the morning or 6:15 or 6 o'clock, all these things are being left unattended. So I will say that all of us have to join hands in saving power, in generating power. The government as well as the private sectors, they are doing very good. And in the times to come, whether it is hydropower or solar energy or other renewable energy sources, we should not have the scare of power shortage and what the coming generations will get if we are using more power now. I am fully confident that in the times to come, alternative resources will also be available, and we should keep on moving with the time. What happens is, we feel that we will save something for our next generations. Let me assure you that something new will come. Research, innovation, and so many other things are growing with the passage of time. So why should we, at the moment, not use the things optimally. Whatever is required, we should do that. Coming to the government side, what you were expecting that what government will do, I think the messages from the government, from Delhi, going to the people are not reaching in that way the government is expecting or we all are expecting. If you remember in the 80s, one of our prime ministers said that if 1 rupee is going from Delhi, only 14 paisas are reaching in the village. I'll say the same is more or less applicable to our communication or message system also. What we want, what we conceive at the national level, what we want to disseminate or the people to receive at the village level, there is a huge gap in that. But I am glad that in the times to come, this gap is going to be filled the other way around. Now it will not be that the message has to come only from the top. With the advent of the community radio stations and the mobiles, where every individual is now the journalist, citizen journalism is there. Now the messages have started coming from the ground. All of us are getting connected. So this is the way I think both sides, whether it is the state level, state government or the central government, this is one side, but the people's involvement or participation is very important. And at present now, this concept has accepted the involvement of the people. So I think we should not be more worried about what will happen tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be more of the research, there will be more of the innovations. Let us live life at present and keep on moving with the passage of time and without any worries about the future.
Sir, wonderfully put up, because this is an angle which I wanted somebody to speak about. Technically, Professor Iyer was speaking so many things, but this public-private participation, unlike water, electricity, even if we start improving on the electricity parameters with what we are facing with respect to the water shortages, wastages, and the kind of acute issue, social issues that we can see across the entire country with respect to water, it is soon going to become a epidemic in various places and then spread to a national level. And if we do not take care from the electricity perspective, we are going to be in dire straits, irrespective of the power plants, etc., etc. So many technologies coming up. Thank you, Tatwaliya Saab. Ishmi Jamil Hussain, Dr.
Actually,
Ishmi.
I think since the speakers are also leaving in between, there should be 1 or 2 minutes question answer sessions also on each subject, because there is a problem. If you can't wait till the end, because like Professor, I had some questions.
Any questions you have?
No, I had, but now Professor Iyer has left.
That message I have got through the chat. That message I have got through the chat.
I have another question for Kuldeep Singh Ji. The thing is, he mentioned that we should not bother too much about the future, but at least we should learn something from our present and the past also. Why are we subsidizing this water? For example, water pumps, electricity for the farmers. Because the problem is that we use a lot of chemical fertilizers, which needs more power, and for that, more water. And for more water, we keep pumps on the whole night and waste a lot of water, groundwater. We are facing an acute shortage of water because we want to grow something in an area where it is not feasible, like Punjab now. Punjab and Haryana, they've destroyed the complete ground there. The whole earth is finished. But still they want to grow rice and wheat because government buys rice and wheat. Government provides subsidies on, not only subsidies, free power. So free water, free power, and I want, MSP for that. So where is this going to lead the country towards a disaster? There is no second planet here. How can we shut our eyes to this?
Sir, let me just say that first of all, I accept it that The wastage part, if we are stopping that, I am not saying that we should not, we should ignore our future requirement. What I am concentrating on is that, there are so many leakages and wastages. If we stop that, then something more will be coming on the way. But simply by saying, I just give you one or two examples. In Himachal, now they have constructed 4-lane road. In fact, during the last 50 years of my travel between Himachal and Delhi or other places, I never expected that this quality of roads will be available in Himachal. But for that, we had to clear some parts of the forest, we had to cut some trees. So that does not mean, sir, if you go back few years, then that time it was a strict ban. No, you will not cut the tree, come but may. I will not allow you to construct the road. But with the passage of time, what has happened is, along the roadsides, you have planted more and more trees. Himachal government has started horticulture project, HP Shiba. Now, farmers have to cut the trees from their land, but they are planting many more trees, which are the fruit-bearing trees. So the landscape or the topography is changing, land usage is changing. But what I am saying is that we have to keep on moving with the time. You see, what happens is, if I take a stand, this or that, or my way or a highway, that will not work. We have to assimilate, keep on moving. Whatever problems come, all of us collectively have to solve those. Our scientists are there, researchers are there, administration is there, public is there. So if all forces work in the same direction, sir, the resultant force definitely is going to solve our problem. Only problem is that we derail or we pull the strings in a different direction and the speed is slowed down. I was only hinting to that, sir. Absolutely not. I'm fully concerned about the future, my future, as well the future of the coming generations.
Yeah, thank you very much. I fully agree with your point. And to just substantiate there, when we sort of make these broader highways, we are indirectly contributing to the Mother Earth itself, because if the roads are narrow, we waste a lot of petrol, we waste a lot of energy, and create more carbon footprints. But if the highways are broad, with the amount of traffic which increases, we are reducing that pollution. Thank you very much for that.
Sir, just I will add, a large number of tunnels in Himachal, without affecting the topography, you see, it has reduced the distances and has helped us so much. I must say that we should not say no to progress by virtue of saying that because it is going to harm environment or this thing. We should take precautionary supplementary efforts so that we move together in the right direction. That is only my paper.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Datullah Saab. Subhaya Saab. Subhaya Saab, IAS 83 batch, retired IAS of the 83 batch. Sir, could we listen to you? But before that, please introduce your profile a little bit.
Okay. See, I'm Subhaya. I retired as secretary, principal secretary to Government of Kerala. I worked in power sector for some time on the animal husbandry, port, fisheries, on the community development, SC development, etc. So now people talk much about the energy, but what is our strength to take care of this planet? Because it's our power on our planet. Our power is actually, it is only a bulk of mankind on the technology efforts to scientifically make use of the resources, the technology. That is all our power. But the weakness is very heavy because our avaricious mindset had taken away the resources to a larger extent. Now we are bereft of many of the earth elements, and we have to take care of the planet. Unless we take care of the planet, well, we will also perish. So the idea is to say that let us not discuss at the higher level, let us not discuss at the macro level. You bring down everything down to the decentralized administrative setup. See, yeah, people talked about the energy. In Kerala, actually, even a panchayat it's managing a micro hydroelectric power station. So that level, we have to bring down the purpose. So with the people's participation, then it will be easy to manage. We know the public know the resource position. They will look for options and alternatives. That we are not talking about. We are only talking about mega scale projects, nuclear projects, etc. That is not actually, I don't know whether it is really required for a large country like India, where we have much more solar energy, we have wind energy. From waste also we can make use of, make energy like Singapore, and we have the larger coast. We can think on taking advantage of the waves. Actually, we have one unit in Trivandrum, the wave energy projects. So we have to look at those things rather than going for large scale, high cost projects. Like we have to integrate the water, soil, and power so that now the agriculture takes 30% of the power actually. See, another point is our population growth is 2% now, as of now, rate. And the consumption is much more, it is 3.4%. Urbanization, it is really going very faster. See, 64% of urbanization will be there by 2050. That is the estimate. The global emission on account of energy is actually 40%. So if we think of exploiting only the coal energy or the other form, we will be polluting our planet. Because air pollution kills 70 million people in 1 year. So this is the kind of situation we are in. So let us integrate water, soil, and power, and let us go for green energy on decentralized status, not at the mega projects. That's all my say in this. Thank you.
This is an area which there seems to be no end to discussing, because people are very much bipolar with respect to this aspect of the utilization of thermal and coal as the means of producing energy in India, because we've got reports of underutilization of coal production, or the abject performances over the last 1 or 2 quarters of the coal production by the behemoths like Coal India. And when we take examples of China, we can understand that coal is not going anywhere. Apart from that, countries who talk about the pollution created because of the these kind of energy sources, and we are trying to replace it with the green energy. They are developed nations who have already done what they had to. Now they are preaching what they never practiced. Any which ways, now let me quickly bring in Dr. Harry. Private perspective, Dr. Harry, like to hear from you about what does your company do, and what do you have to say about the entire issue around power, earth, and energy?
Great, great. Our power, our planet. Is it just a slogan? It is a summons, a call to awaken the immense power each of us hold, not in authority, but in accountability, not in consumption, but in contribution to this earth. But let us be honest, our planet has been crying out. Through erratic monsoons, melting glaciers, polluted rivers, and vanishing green cover, it has been pleading with us to act, not tomorrow, but today. In that sense, as a telecom infrastructure provider, what do? We operate in a space that is known for steel, spectrum, and speed. But we wanted to add something else to that mix, which is a soul. Let us be a little more sentimental about the soul into the infrastructure. So we asked ourselves, what if every tower we build also nurtured a tree? What if every expansion also empowered a community? What if every policy also protected a river, or a stray animal? That question transformed us continuously and led us to planting of more than 3 lakh trees in the past 3 years. It is not just trees for carbon emission. It is a fruit-bearing trees, the medicinal ones, selected to boost local biodiversity and rural income. So these weren't CSR tokens. They were a life strategy. Each sapling stands today as a beacon of hope, jobs, and oxygen generation. So what we do as an organization is to make sure continuously we contribute in such a way that at one part we generate more oxygen, and at the other part we also make sure there is a continuous effort to reduce carbon emissions, carbon footprints. This is our strategy, and in this strategy we have been successful in the past 3 years. And let me tell you, the one of the rarest of companies, private companies, which has been funded under the title of sustainability linked loan, is the first of Indian companies is our company called Ascent Telecom. So in that sense, they have given us a certain targets which we have to achieve year on year, which also helps us directly or indirectly to contribute to this earth. And that's how we have been progressing year on year.
Have you thought about going public? Are you a public company? Have you thought about going public in terms of IPOs?
No, as of now, it is a BlackRock company, and we are in the process of going public.
Okay, okay. Please carry on, sir.
So that's why our environmental mission goes beyond trees and towers. It embraces stray, wounded, and abandoned animals also. What we do is we rescue these animals and protect them, make sure that they are rehabilitated. Through our network of rescue and rehabilitation programs, we have fed, treated, and protected countless cows and animals also, because we believe that compassion is not seasonal, but it is a policy. So on the emission front, we moved beyond measurement to meaningful action. We aligned with goal frameworks like TCFD alignment. I don't know how many of us know the TCFD alignment, how each organization in this country should be aligned to TCFD and are on the path to science-based targets in our ESG framework, in our ESG efforts to make sure that we do contribute to climate change, global warming, and every aspect of the earth becoming better day by day. So under scope 1 and scope 3 emissions, by integrating cleaner fuels, energy efficient towers, and digital first solutions, our organization has been progressing. As one of the largest consumer of energy and electricity in this country, there are about 1 million towers across country set up by different organizations. And the highest use of energy, or second largest use of energy in this country, is by this tower industry or telecom industry. So there is a responsibility attached to this business. The responsibility is to make sure that the fear of emission generating activity is reduced day by day. Second one, we are also exploiting various options available in this country, especially in terms of exploring a lot of alternative source of energy, be it solar or wind energy. And we are also these days looking up to how to create a hydrogen fuel in place of fossil fuels, wherein we can move up the value chain and ensure that we can continue to reduce the waste as well as carbon fuel. So in this way, our organization has been progressing day by day, and the telecom infrastructure industry as such, which provides you a minute-to-minute connectivity, also has taken a commitment of making sure that we become net zero by 2035.
Thank you, Dr. Hari. We have Bimal Vakluji with us, former chairman of TCIL. He knows the space more than most of us here. Vaklu, have any questions? Because you had.
Yeah, actually, thank you very much, Mr. Harry. Uh, could you repeat the name of the company? I couldn't
Accel
make it.
Telecom. Accel Telecom.
Ascent Telecom Infrastructure.
Ascent,
ASCEND. Ascent
ACE.
Telecom Infrastructure.
Ascent. Okay.
Ascent.
Thank you very much. You mentioned that you are planning to become net zero by 2030.
35.
35,
We
sorry.
are working towards it.
Yeah. So, what is your roadmap for that? Because that is going to be a big challenge. Because I understand your company is also going to grow, so the number of towers are going to grow. And if you are planning to go net zero, obviously you have to start from today, or you must have already started. What is your roadmap so that other people also can learn from that, and the whole telecom infra companies become net zero?
Currently, the telecom infra companies which heavily relies on fossil fuel.
No, not really, because in many cases, people have put the solar panels on top of these, along with the tower. They have put solar panels also, and people are trying to be net. People are trying to use solar as much as they can. But net zero means
Can I share some of my thoughts, sir?
Yeah.
Solar, the solar or alternative source of energy, how it is becoming viable to a business like infrastructure. Business viability is becoming a major question. While at one side, the operators are demanding day by day reduction of cost of energy. Number one. Number two, they are all looking at either fixed cost or pass through. In that case, who will bring in the most needed investment into energy sector? Now, if I put up a tower, it takes 10 to 15 years for me to get the ROI on the tower. So in that situation, how do you expect me to put additional capex into bringing in solar energy, which is not viable, which doesn't yield me any additional source of income? So these are the problems today the infrastructure industry is facing.
No, yeah, I understand. I mean, of course, because I am from the same domain. But I wanted to know the roadmap towards this net zero, because that's a very exciting thing. Yeah.
The first thing first, we are moving towards a more digital space. So moving towards a digital space or emerging business segment, wherein the use of fossil fuel can be reduced to a large extent. That is number one. So what we are doing as an organization in the past 3 years is continuously, constantly, wherever there is a possibility for green open access, then let us adopt it. The best method today available to all of us is there are number of solar services, solar energy providers from across country, either in a small business or in a large business scale. These businesses are available for a green open access, wherein you can
And here, transmission also is a big challenge. So now, I think the focus has to be on decentralization as far as possible.
I
And
do agree with you, sir.
greening, that is how you can achieve net zero. Otherwise, I don't see any possibility of net zero.
In the current
this is a
scenario,
big declaration. I mean, let me just come in. This is Dr. Hari. This is a big declaration. You are probably the only private sector player who is currently active today on this show, despite we wanting so many other sectors to also participate effectively, like the education sector, biofuel sector, etc. But from the private sector perspective and overall from the corporate perspective, globally around 10,000 companies are committed to net zero as of now, out of which 125 to 130, as per most ESG reports in India, are committed to net zero. As per India's declaration in the Paris Climate Convention, by 2070, India should be achieving the net zero targets. So are you as a company also featuring in any of these, credit rating, ESG ratings by ICRA, CRISIL, etc.?
No, no, no. We are not appearing anywhere else.
Okay, sir,
Our
I'll again bring you back.
aspiration, we have an
I have to.
aspiration to work towards that, and we are working towards that.
Wonderful, sir. But your BRSR reports must be effectively mentioning that.
Yeah, we are not submitting any BRSR report. We are submitting only GRI report, which is audited by a third party.
Corporate governance. Okay. Now, Pratik Shanware, would you like to step in and discuss? Pratik Shanware ji, are you there?
Yeah,
Would you
I am
like
there.
to step in? Would you like to step in and tell us about the, we keep hearing about even the jet aviation collaborations that BPCL has inked under Krishna Kumar ji and his leadership. This man has done wonderful work for the last few years, and we are not strangers to the fact that the initiatives, as spoken by Professor Iyer, blue hydrogen, these are all landmark initiatives by companies like BPCL, the Ratnas of the country. Pratik Shanware, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for giving me a chance here. So let me tell you, I am from the Director Office, Refineries, and I have last 34 years working in this industry, in the petroleum industry, and basically in the refining. So I am the insider to this industry. And let me explain you what is the industry perspective and where we are heading towards from the perspective of the oil and gas. As you rightly mentioned, that BPCL is also committed to net zero. BPCL has created a roadmap. Somebody was asking. Yes, we have created a roadmap for reaching to that net zero targets. Basically, we are talking about scope 1 and scope 2 right now, which is the direct fuel which we are using, which is emitting carbon footprints. Now, if you ask me how we are going to do it, there are basically 4 pillars based on which we talk about net zero. First is obviously the energy efficiency measures. That means I consume less energy to produce the same amount of the production, which has to be the major perspective for any industry, because it is advantage to the company, advantage to the economy, advantage for the environment. So that is the first pillar, where we have already planned our actions. Let me tell you, we as a refinery, being scope and scope 2 emitters, see, basically we are oil and marketing OMC. Basically, we are refiners plus the marketing thing. But maximum of our scope 1 and scope 2 comes from the emissions are coming from the refinery. So that is how we have done a study to understand what our refinery today is emitting. What is along with the progress of the refinery, that means production increase, the capacity increase, where we are going to reach. And at that point of time, what is our carbon footprints and how we neutralize that. This is the basic aim of the study which we have done. In that, we have, as I started initially, first thing is the energy efficiency, which we are talking about. Second is the renewable energy. The renewable energy, what we are talking about, we are already having solar plants. We are already investing in wind energy. So basically, we are talking to the industry. We are taking direct. We are planning to produce the 50 megawatts of power, renewable power in the MP as well as in UP. We have put up 140 megawatts of solar plant in the Bina refinery, one of our refinery, and we have major few things in future also with respect to renewable energy prospects. Basically, what we are talking about is this is the share. So what we say is our expectation is 20%. We want to reach to a renewable energy source. So that is our first target. Now, the second pillar. One more thing is green hydrogen. Somebody is talking about grey hydrogen, green hydrogen. See, green hydrogen also, let me tell you, we will be the first in the industry, or one of the first in the industry, I would say, to set up a small, yes, it is a small scale plant, green hydrogen plant. We are in under commissioning, and it is going to be commissioned by this month. And that means by April end, we will have this plant on stream inside the refinery I'm talking. And this is a green hydrogen plant. Basically,
again, where is it being set up? Where is it being set up?
Bina refinery, Madhya Pradesh. Okay. So basically what we are talking about is the green hydrogen is our future, and we see a great potential in the electrolyzer technology, because if you look at it, it is a viable technology. However, it has to be scaled up. Today, government is giving a lot of incentives with respect to site programs, site 1, site 2. We are already aware where the electrolyzer manufacturing has to happen. Now, this is one area which is where we are lagging today. If you ask me as a production or the person who is putting up these plants, where we are lagging, we are not having enough industry, no industry almost, who is today producing an electrolyzer. Only L&T is one of the company who has just now produced 1 month back or somewhere 6 months back, but it is again a small scale. See, electrolyzer will not only do, it has to be an efficient electrolyzer. So we have to make efficient, energy efficient electrolyzers so that it becomes a project which is viable, economically viable project. If you look at the green hydrogen project, which is electrolyzer route, the major component of the cost is the consumption of energy, which is electricity. Somebody was talking about the energy cost. Yes, definitely we have to come down on the electricity cost. What we are purchasing today in India, we think that with that cost, the electrolyzer production of hydrogen is today costly. So we have to bring the cost of electricity down to make this green hydrogen project through an electrolyzer, which is a existing technology and a viable technology. It has to be economically viable. That is what I'm coming to. Okay. So this is related to green hydrogen. Let me talk about one more initiative where we are thinking. It is a primitive stage, but still let me talk. That is CCUS. That is carbon capturing technology. Let me tell you, presently, the technology of carbon capture is not matured. Today, whatever technology is available, it only captures and stores in the mother earth somewhere. That is a technology which is today, which is available in the for putting up in the industry. However, we know there are many projects, including in IITs, which are going up, where the CCUS technology has to capture the CO2 and convert into a usable product. This technology has to be viable and economically as well as commercially viable technology has to develop. Now, this is right now an area which is not very matured, but lot of study and lot of initiatives are taken in this area to move this further, where the sustenance will come. We are talking about sustainability. So when we are talking about sustainability, there has to be some technology which has to be available, which has to be technically, commercially, and economically viable. I see, or as BPCL sees, we see that electrolyzer as well as CCUS might be the technologies in future where we see the hope that, because see, as energy, let me explain you this. There are alternative uh, measures of energy usage, which is in form of EV, in form of bio CNG. We have been getting, but these technologies are still getting matured. This technology also has to be developed along with the infrastructure. Developing an infrastructure in India may take some time. That means we have to depend for some percentage on these fossil fuels for some more time. So when I am using fossil fuel, how to reduce the emission, how to eliminate the emission while I'm producing fuel. That is what the refiners trying to do. Refiners are also trying to see get into the EVs, the solar. I already told you. So overall, in an envelope, what is happening is we are doing we are putting our footstep everywhere, but we see as India, we are still in initial stage of these technologies and its usage. So we have to mature yourself. I'm sure government is also supporting it. That support, with the government support, I'm sure that we will come to a stage where these technologies will be economically and commercially viable, and the industry will accept it, and that is lies our future, and that is what I can talk
As
about.
BPCL, Prateek as BPCL, what are your blending milestones?
Can you repeat?
What are the blending milestones that you have achieved? Because Hardeep Puri, the current minister, he keeps talking about having achieved 20% blending targets.
Yeah. See, ethanol, you're talking about ethanol blending.
Fuels.
Ethanol, yeah. 20% ethanol blending, we are almost achieved. We will be achieving next year. That is our target. We are almost there in everywhere. Some few milestones might be, but we are planning to achieve a target of 20% of ethanol. We are already almost more than 10, somewhere around 12. We are blending ethanol. We plan to achieve 20% ethanol blending by somewhere approximately around 1 year.
Okay, thanks for the candid comments on this. Closing remarks, I would like to quickly bring in 1 minute each. Arun Sinha ji, my family friend. Sinha Saab, closing remarks.
Yeah. So, yeah, Amit ji, you were asking that what CPSC role can be there for this on the World Earth Day. So, I see it as a 4 roles for the central public sector enterprises. First one is that they should provide leadership in this renewable energy because they have infrastructure, they have those strengths which can be used for this leadership. The second point which I want to say is that innovation through R&D. Right now, we heard Prateek ji talking about CCUS and other technology. So R&D is also an area in which CPSCs can take lead and provide good progress in that. The third is and that is most important, community impact. Because when all of us, I think this was echoed in all the talks which I heard, and community impact through CSR and various activities will also help in raising the awareness and the motto educate, advocate, mobilize, and place. So, and the last one is they can be a role model for private sector. As we saw today that in private sector, there may be many things happening, but we are not exposed to them. But CPSC can be a role model for them also in this. Thank you.
And also, Siras, I will also add to that, there has been a lot of PPP or public-private partnership which has been inked of late. BPCL would be, the best to answer. Prateek ji, just a few insight into the public-private partnerships like in the jet aviation space and so many things that you have been as a behemoth that goes in this direction?
Yeah. SAF, as you were talking about, we are already into SAF. We have planned our action. We have decided to start the production in one of our refinery, and the new plant will be put up, which will ensure 1% blending in SAF. I think that expectation is somewhere around 25 or 26. I don't remember the year, but we have decided the plan for producing of 1% SAF. So that is SAF. We are also already partnered with one Semcorp
Semcorp.
corporation. Yeah, where we want to go big on all the green initiatives, and that is where we see as a public-private partnership to go further for this area.
Because jet aviation fuel issue is one of the most critical issues in terms of endangering the ecology, and we need to look at cleaner alternatives very fast and very effectively. Dhatwalia Saab, closing remarks, sir.
I think from my side, there is nothing to add except this thing that we should generate more and more power and use it very, very economically. We should save energy because energy saved is energy generated. So that's all. I wish all the very best on this particular day. We should not only observe such things on particular days only, we should become a part and parcel of our normal habit every day. That's all.
Subhaiya Saab, closing remarks. Subhaiya Saab.
Yeah, I got it. See, basically, we are still talking about only the energy production at the mega level. What I suggest is we have to think at the decentralized level, at the village level or panchayat level. That is more important. If you go for rooftop solar energy production, see, imagine how much you will save that could be used for the industries. Then rooftop solar is there. Now rooftop wind energy is there now. It costs less than a lakh actually in Kerala. So we let us work on that decentralized mode. In agriculture also, earlier speaker told about the free energy given to the agriculture. It is really a bad example government setup. Free energy has spoiled a lot of other aspects of agriculture because it takes completely the groundwater. Then the tree growth, where the root zone is not extended to the groundwater, completely dried up. It is leading to desertation of the farmland. So go for decentralized functioning. Thank you.
Before I close, finally, Vaklu Saab, he is an avid speaker on various international forums. Vaklu Saab, your final say on the issue about Earth.
Sorry. Just now, Sumaya Sir mentioned about decentralization and going to the village level. I fully agree with him. That is the only solution that we can really solve problems. And besides that, we need to go back to our roots. There are 200, for a population of 140 million, 1.4 billion people, there are at least 250 million houses or housing units. Now, if we see from that perspective, we have to see, in fact, I wish you could have invited an architect also to this today's event.
Sir, I was coming to that point. That I had also asked somebody from RERA, a lot of chairpersons of various states, because these ghost towns which are lying in connivance with the banks in this country are serving whom nobody knows. Anyways.
That is one part of it. The second part of that is that, our old practices were making use of the sunlight effectively for even our houses. Still, I live in one of the flats here, and it is oriented in the right direction. And I tell you with great pride to everybody that during winter we don't need any heating because it's taken care of by the sun itself. And summer we might be using air conditioning for maybe 5 to 10 days in a year. That's all. That is all because of the orientation. And this has been given to us by Vastu Shastra, which we have forgotten because we want to copy the West. So, this is one major thing we need to do. We need to encourage, go back to our roots. Second thing, we don't have to sort of demean those people who talk about going back to the roots. There was recently one face off in one of the universities wherein the principal of that particular institute, she used cow dung for protection from heat in the classrooms. And, the students got irritated with that. I mean, we need to keep an open mind on this because what we have done in the last 10 years, I would say a great job of providing houses to many people. But in the process, we have also created one problem that we have converted them into concrete houses where finally now the next stage will be even the village people will need air conditioners. So if they were using the old techniques and were happy with it, I don't know why we should be just because we have to ape the West, we keep doing that. So we need to go back to our roots. That's my final statement. Thank you.
Before I end the show, I was almost on the verge of closing with kind of a condolence silence for the Honorable Pope who has left us recently. But before that, I have my family friend, great guy, First Lieutenant General of Northeast, breath of fresh air from the Northeast, joining us as Lieutenant General Consem Himalaya Singh. The name, also signifies his attachment to the concept of earth and ecological, but then he's privy to one of the worst crises faced. And from his state of Manipur, the crisis is catching deep and hard into the soul of India. Consul Himalaya Singh, guys, hold on, 5 more minutes. Over to you. Listen to this man. He's seen the best of Northeast. He's been the first Lieutenant General of Northeast, and he's seen the worst of Northeast. Over to you.
Thank you, Amit, for having me here. I'll just take 5 minutes, as you said. Before I come to Manipur, just 2 minutes on the Himalayan region, because during my service of 40 years, I have served nearly 16 years in the Himalayas. In the right from Leh, Ladakh to Kargil to Himachal to Arunachal, Sikkim, Bhutan, right till the entire length of Himalayas. The way the degradation has taken place, the glaciers, then degradation of the forest, degradation of the soil, water, whatever we have in the Himalayas, it's extremely, extremely concerning to the very existence of many people in the sub-Himalayan region. That is the first thing that I would like to highlight on this Earth Day today. As far as the notice is concerned, my concern is that I'll give you one example. Just 40 years back, I was a major.
I'll just add one thing before you move on. Before you speak further. Alaknanda, the Gangotri point, you understand that where it, there also the mineral content, during this Kumbh Mela, there was a lot of research, a lot of, firefighting happening around these issues. Even in that particular area, we've been told by the FSSAI, people who worked with FSSAI, that the content of minerals in the water found there has gone down considerably badly over the last at least 10 years, despite all the NMCG initiatives. Any which ways, over to you, Kansam Bhaiya.
So it's an environmental disaster in the making, as far as the Himalayan region is concerned. In the Northeast, I give you only one example. 40 years back, I was a major in the Indian Army. 40 years back, I saw at least 35 wetland, like small lakes in the valley of Manipur, 35 to 36. Today, there are only 5. I'm talking about the changes which have taken place in the last 40 years. And in geographical terms, 40 years is just like a second, actually, how things can change. And the hills and the mountains in the Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, if you see the degradation of the forest, the forest report will tell you that how much degradation of forest has taken place for the wrong reasons, like poppy plantation or whatever it is. you know so this is something that we need to urgently address by the authorities. And then we have various laws, Forest Act, and Preservation of Wetlands Act, and whatever act we have. But I think on the ground it's a huge challenge, which is being faced by the people. And in the future generations of today, tomorrow's future generations will have a harrowing time at trying to adjust to the new environmental degradation which is in the making right now. Pollution is another. The rivers, you hardly see any river with fresh water in the Northeast India now, is except in some places. And pollution, the plastics and whatever. So these are issues that on this earth, I must compliment you for bringing this out, that on this important aspect is being highlighted. I wish you well. And I thought I must bring up the Himalayan region and the northeastern India and Manipur also in particular. This is a day for the reckoning. The time has come when we may not be able to recover from this disaster which is already taken place. So I thank you for calling me to speak for a few minutes. Thank you
Two
so much.
instances that come to my mind from the disaster being caused by urbanization and illegal encroachments in illegal activities, notwithstanding what's happening otherwise, like drug trafficking, human trafficking, smuggling, weaponization, etc., etc. Immigration, all those things we can talk some other day. We've been talking. Uh, you know, a, a, a state like Manipur, it's been burning over the last 2 years. It's been burning over the last 2 years. How much impact has that had on the topography, on the terrain of Manipur and adjoining states?
See, the security situation and environment, though it is not directly affected, but the fact is that it is indirectly affecting the atmosphere, or the environmental issues, because directly the basic what is happening is about firing, shooting at each other, blocking of the roads, and illegal taxation, and then increased kind of illegal activity. But if you ask me, how is it impacting the environment? I would say that this poppy cultivation is one, because that requires a large number of fertilizer, applications in hills or plains, and also it requires a large area. I mean, as per estimates, it was about 18,000 hectares of the area which was used for poppy cultivation in the last about maybe 3 to 4 years. So these are challenges which are direct, but indirectly, I would say that pollution of the rivers, pollution of the people who are not getting proper water supply in the hill areas and some areas of the plains. So these are some challenges.
That's what I was trying to come to. Anarchy, destruction, violence will have a kind of a untouched, a kind of a pristine landscape is bound to get affected, and that is what has
Yeah,
happened to
indirectly.
Manipur.
Yeah,
I'll just tell you two examples of my experience in the Northeast recently, which tells me, gives me, an insight into how much things have changed. 20 years back, when we used to travel from South Assam to North Assam, from say Guwahati to say or say from Silchar to Jorhat in the Upper Assam region, and in the Upper Assam region, the Jorhat, Dibrugarh, Nagaon areas, Kazigaranga, it used to be a breath, kind of a breath stopping kind of an experience. And today, when I go there, recently when I went there, two instances came to my mind. I must share. There was a leopard who just crossed the road, and he bumped over our bonnet of the car. And the second instance was elephants standing on the roadside 30 kilometers before we reached Kaziranga. So this tells me a huge story about the human-wild conflict, which is again, the result of destruction to the earth that we are doing, and to other organisms or the other living beings, like the wild animals, who do not have the capacities like we humans have. I'll end the show today on this note. Thank you for joining all of us. Let us remember the great Pope. He also believed in the philosophy which, when he said Vasudevam Kutumbakam, that the earth belongs to all. It's a common home. And pollution has made earth a filthy, filthy place to live in. Stop polluting. Collectively, let's start working towards environmental issues, and let's not allow this earth to be destroyed. Those were the words of the Pope who left us, and that marks a huge gap in the religion called Christianity. And we look forward to listening better things from the successors very soon, because they're in the process of appointing. But this very day, on the Earth Day, let me thank all of you for having joined us. And in the future, in the next 4 or 5 years, we should expect India to not have kind of an embarrassing phase in the global scenario, because we have the COP30, which is happening in November this year in Brazil. The Amazon forests are going to be hosting COP30, and India is going to be a crucial player, because Brazil-India partnership will go a long way in ensuring that the biofuel vision of the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, and the Honorable Minister Petroleum Hardeep Puri are realized, and we can see much cleaner fuel, as BPCL representative just now told us, from 12, 13, 15% to 20% and then beyond, in as early possible a time as we can hope so. Thank you so much. Wish you all a very, very happy Earth Day. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.